Kind of think of it, didn't Mr. Elbird have a bracelet like the other prisoners? The bracelet would have been concealed under the uniform's sleeves. Moreover, the prison's main gate does not have a sensor to detect bracelets. All we would have to do is avoid any doors with sensors inside the prison. That's right. So if he didn't enter the cell or the workrooms, could one of the guys be J. Elbird? Rocky! Stop it! What are you doing? It would seem that Rocky has answered that question for us. No! Rocky, this is all your fault! That little guy loves you so much. It's inevitable. Right then, seize him at once! Wait, there's something we must hear from this prisoner. It's necessary if we are to find the truth. I'd like permission to interrogate him. Understood. What do you want out of me? Elba's escape route is linked to Knightley's cell, so it's highly likely he knows something about the crime. I'd like to ask you about the day the body was found. When the body was found. It was you guys. You were the ones who found my secret tunnel. It took me ages to dig that. The day the body was found was the day I planned the escape. I was in disguise. Then Rocky followed after me. But he was all covered in mud. I panicked and returned to my cell. Damn. Only you guys hadn't showed up. Only Knightley hadn't died. You say you dug the tunnel. What did you use to dig it? Oh, that... just hammers, spoons, stuff like that. I brought them for the supplier, but it was all for nothing. No need to lose your temper. There's always next time. On the day of the incident, it's possible that Elbird met Knightley while he was alive. I'll have to listen to his testimony carefully. It's time for rebut when the body was found. Okay. So as you guys, you were the ones who found my secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. It took me ages to dig that. Okay, I believe you. He planned to escape. He was in disguise. Okay, so this is what we need to look at. Did you obtain the guard's uniform from the supplier too? Yeah, that's right. Seems he got it by threatening a guard. That guy went and stole from someone's locker. So when you went through the tunnel and you were already dressed like a guard? No, to ensure that clothes won't get stained with mud, I carried them with me. Once I got out of the hole and changed clothes, getting out the cell doors were simple. And that's when Rocky ran up and jumped on me. Well, it must be the moment the security camera captured. I see. Could you add that to your testimony? Okay, once he got out of the hole, changed clothes, getting out of the cell doors was simple. Well, why was it a simple Simon? Getting out the cell doors was simple, you say? Yeah, compared to going through the tunnel, it was very simple. You inhabit a prison, yet you seem to know the layout of a detention center quite well. What's wrong? So wrong about that? Sure, I've been to the detention center too. In that case, he should have known about it from the start. When Knightley was in his cell, the door would have been locked. Which means there was one piece of evidence Elbird needed to escape. One piece of evidence he needed to escape? What could that be? Is there something here? We don't need that. Chisel or traces of dog's blood, no. The death was a stab. No, that wouldn't be it. No, that wouldn't be it either. Checks for metal objects. The stolen uniform, I'm sure, is going to be for something, but I don't know what. During the attack, the key to Knightley's cell was stolen. He would know about this! He would know about Knightley's cell key. Okay, we just need to figure out when to, like, get that. Then Rocky followed after me. Okay, what about that? When did you first realize he was following you? When I got out of the tunnel. Just when I thought I pulled it off. Damn. Didn't you notice anything when you entered the tunnel? He wasn't there at the time. I knew he would follow me if he was around. This is my chance, I thought. Just my luck. Damn it. Such harsh words. Poor Rocky. I can't help it. Today was his fault too. Just like yesterday, always clinging on to me. But he was all covered in mud. I panicked to return to my cell. Ooh. You didn't consider just making a run for it. I would have if I could, but the mud would have given it away. It's not like I get another chance like this. So I had to proceed with caution. In the end, he was exposed by his own bear. It's possible that Elbird met Knightley before he died. I should listen to his testimony carefully and review the evidence. The one who found my secret tunnel? I had a plan to escape. It was a disguise. Getting out was simple. What does he mean by that exactly? Compared to going through the tunnel, yeah, okay. When Knightley was in his cell, the door would have been locked. One reason Elbird needs to escape. So I think it's that specifically. So he got out because of the keys. That would make the most sense. Let's go! Let's go! You say it was simple getting through the cell door. Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that, huh? Even though you managed to arrive at Knightley's cell, opening the door wasn't so simple. How did you intend to unlock the cell door? J. Elbird, you have the key to Knightley's cell. I ain't got nothing like that. That's it. It was open. It was already unlocked when I got there. Indeed, the cell was vacant after Knightley's death, which is why, at the time we conducted our investigation, it was unlocked. Your successful escape attempt occurred after Knightley's death, so the door would have been open. However, you had tried to escape once before then. The plan was failed thanks to Rocky. The video shows it. Yes, that was during the animal show, before Knightley's death was known. And the cell door was locked, because no one knew he was dead. Without the key to Knightley's cell, your escape would have been impossible. That means it can't be. It's exactly what you think. In the case of the stolen key, the culprit is... J. Elbird. You were the one who attacked the guard, weren't you? And the guard, and Knightley too, in order to steal the cell key. It wasn't me. I don't know any Knightley. After stealing the key, you returned to your cell as a precautionary measure. Then you waited for a time when the prison would be mostly vacant. That was just before Knightley's death became known. In other words, during the animal show. But in the end, the plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. Don't screw with me. If you don't have evidence, I'll still win by decision. Besides, it was that Knightley guy who attacked the guard, right? I think not. Regarding the theft of the keys, Knightley was the victim. This proves Knightley was the victim who was attacked in his cell. This proves it? He was attacked in his cell. Penetrating wound in the neck. What proves that he was attacked? Okay, yeah, this would be it.
Take that.
In Knightley's cell, there were traces of his blood, which had been wiped away. I believe this is more than enough proof Knightley was attacked in his cell. You attacked those two people and stole the key, didn't you? Ugh! Damn! Never thought you'd find that bloodstain I wiped away with the newspaper. Why would you go through all that trouble of wiping the bloodstain? On the hands of Knightley and the guard, there were obvious signs of a scuffle, you know? As the bloodstains were uncovered, they find out there was another attacker. And if anyone looked around the bed, the tunnel I dug would be discovered. So you're trying to buy more time for your escape attempt. I'm afraid to say your plan still ended in failure. Now then, hand over the keys to Knightley's cell. Damn it! TKO, baby! Ding, ding, ding! No way. How could an amateur like you knock me out? Here, I got the keys right here. We got them back. Hold it. You have that key, then that means... That's right. Judge Courtney. You reason that Knightley stole the key and used it to leave his cell. From there, he entered Mr. Key's cage and was moved to the workroom. However, the very foundation of that hypothesis has collapsed. No! How? I see, in that case, there was only one person who could move Knightley. The criminal must have been someone who knew about the secret tunnel. Hey, are you suggesting? Elbird, you're under arrest, pal. Wait, I didn't do nothing. Sure, I knocked out those two guys, then I stole the keys. After that, I waited for the perfect time to enter the guy's cell. But the cell was empty then. There was no dead body either. And also, how could I have gone into the workroom? I couldn't even leave my own cell, right? It's true, you only had the key to Knightley's cell. But there's also Dogen's dog. What? It'd be possible for the dog to carry that body from the cell to the workroom. I see. So you're saying there was an accomplice? The crime would have been possible if Elbird and Dogen were working together. It's perfectly plausible. Somehow Elbird managed to carry a Knightley's body to his own cell. And then the dog must have carried it to the workroom. Yes, because all the animals can move freely in the prison. But that's not the case for the path between the detention center and the prison. The only one who could use that route was you, Elbird. What if there was another route that you didn't know about? There couldn't have been. The tunnel is a straight path, is it not? Yeah, seems like it. I didn't have enough time to dig any more than I did. I only dug halfway up the corridor. What? You mean to say that you didn't dig the entire tunnel? When I got to the cell, the tunnel was already there. There was a tunnel leaking my cell to the well. Looking down the well from the courtyard, there's no mistaking it. They've always been connected. I just connected the tunnel with my digging. What was the hole doing there in the first place? Who knows? Maybe another inmate dug in an attempt to escape. Oh, oopsie. And maybe the animals dug it. Maybe they wanted to drink from the well. That's highly doubtful. There's no water in that well anymore. It's all dried up. Oh, wait a minute. That's it! For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. A nice scent? I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. This scent, I believe we come across it before. We know the scent from the body. Nightly's body was giving off a sweet candy-like scent. We used the police star to track that scent, and that led us to discover the tunnel. By any chance, could this be the same scent as the well? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I know what you're trying to say. The scent proves the body was carried down through the tunnel. Exactly. And Elbird, you are the only one who could have used the tunnel. Thank you, Mr. Elbird. I am grateful for you. At last the truth comes to light. Mr. Elbird, wouldn't it be wise to confess now? To begin, to being an accomplice, I mean. Don't tell me, even you suspect me too! Judge Courtney, it seems you and I have come to the same conclusion. Not at all. Our thoughts on this matter are still quite different. Mr. Elbird was certainly an accomplice, but an accomplice to Horrence Knightley. Hold it! What do you mean? Mr. Elbird did not move the body. He simply lent the victim his keys. What? It would seem Mr. Elbird did indeed strike Mr. Knightley on the head. However, Mr. Knightley was not knocked out. But you must have made a little negotiation. Negotiation? For Mr. Knightley's escape plan to work, he would have needed the keys to his cell. So Mr. Elbird stole them from the guard. On the other hand, for Mr. Elbird to escape, he needed to get to Mr. Knightley's cell. But if Mr. Knightley had seen him and yelled, the plan would have gone down the drain. And so, they negotiated. I didn't negotiate nothing! Oh, you still indeed intend to deny it? I see. So in other words, we're back where we started. Mr. Elbird opened the cell door, and Mr. Knightley entered Mr. Keyes' cage. And then he was moved into the prison. Of course! And then he was killed in the prison workroom. Weren't you listening? The scent of the body shows it must have been moved through the tunnel. Knightley was moved from the detention center through the tunnel. Please wait until someone is finished before speaking. I do not claim that he wasn't moved through the tunnel. What? You don't? The scent shows that the body was moved through the tunnel. However, that does not mean it came from the detention center. What do you mean? That sure sounds like a contradiction to me. Isn't there one more possibility? The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there. The courtyard? Ah! The well in the courtyard! Mr. Keyes carried the cage not to the workroom, but to the courtyard. Mr. Knightley was killed in the courtyard, and his body was dropped down the well. And then, the body at the bottom of the well was moved by Mr. Dogan's dog. Now, there's one thing I'd like you all to remember. Before the body was discovered, what was happening in the courtyard? The animal show, right? Regina and Simon were there. Wait! Simon? Ah! I see you understand. Who then dropped the body down the well? Judge Courtney. She's a tough opponent. A flexible way of thinking enables her to adapt and come up with her own deductions. Mr. Knightley was not carried to the workroom, but to the courtyard. And Mr. Keyes was off stage for 15 minutes. This is when he dropped Mr. Knightley down the well. It's as simple as that. Judge Courtney, your reasoning is sound. I'll admit that. However, let's say the body was dropped down the well. That didn't have to be done during the show. It could have happened at a different time. Unfortunately for you, Prosecutor Edgeworth, that is not possible. What? When the show started, Mr. Elbird was in the tunnel, on his way to cell block. Mr. Elbird, at the time, did you happen to see a body in the tunnel? Nope. Nothing like that. So if the body had been dropped before the show, Mr. Elbird would have seen it. However, he has stated he did not see the body. So it is impossible to think the body was dropped before the show. And after the show, the body was discovered in the workroom. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and then moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. Ugh. Mr. Edgeworth? What should we do? The body was moved through the well. That does put Mr. Keyes at a major disadvantage. However, the notion that the body was moved through the well is only a hypothesis. That doesn't mean there's evidence. I am obligated to recognize that fact. Will you allow me to investigate the courtyard once more? I give my approval, in the name of the Goddess of Law. Reinvestigating the courtyard. I fear this may be our last chance. Huh? What? Fire! Could be another prison break, pal. Should we evacuate? Everyone, please remain calm. This is just a signal for the evening meal. It's a little loud, so I could understand why you'd be surprised. It sure scared me. I'm terribly sorry. And with that, everyone, please return to your posts. J. Elbird, it's almost time for you to return to your room. I got it. Let's go, Rocky. Warden Roland. We will be proceeding to the courtyard for another investigation. Isn't it time for you to go home as well, Mr. Edgeworth? Looks like we're out of time. Why don't you continue this another time? But the investigation? Today's been a big day, right? With the escaped president and all. So I'm afraid I can't let outsiders like you loiter around any longer. This is my decision as the warden of this prison. Looks like it can't be helped. The warden's word can be called the law of the prison. Prosecutor Edgeworth, this means we will have to carry out an investigation another day. Until then, you may hold on to your prosecutor's badge. And with that, I leave you. Now, I think it's time you all left. Well, it looks like we'll have to continue the investigation tomorrow. Bentley's body was dropped down the well and was carried to the workroom from Mr. Elbird's cell. This is Judge Courtney's logic, but is it correct? And Judge Courtney claims that Mr. Keyes transported him, but is Mr. Keyes really the only one with a chance to move him? Mr. Edgeworth, let's do our best tomorrow. We have to save Simon, no matter what. Indeed, I agree. We must prove Mr. Keyes innocent without fail. Oh, to be continued! Ah! So close and yet so far from that. My goodness gracious. Well, next time, y'all, we'll continue on this little investigation. Till then, sayonara. Bye-bye.